Surrounded by palm and casuarina plantations, the Sun Temple of Konarak, popularly known as Black Pagoda, was built by King Narasimhadeva I of the Ganga dynasty during the 13th century AD. Dedicated to the sun god and modelled in the form of a celestial chariot, mounted on 24 richly ornamented wheels. Drawn by 7 giant and powerful horses, the temple symbolizes eternal motion of the sun. The temple, planned totally in an original way, is the most splendid example of Orissan architectural magnificence and engineering skill, regarded by many as one of the great wonders of the world. Historians are of the opinion that to commemorate the political supremacy over the neighboring states, King Narasimhadeva I of the Ganga dynasty decided to construct a huge monument which would reflect his glory for all times to come. The temple of Konarak consists of 3 parts: Vimana, or the main temple; Jagmohan, the porch or the audience hall; and Natamandap, or the dancing hall. Out of the 3 parts, the huge spire of the main sanctum, which must have been more than 61 meters high, collapsed in the course of time. The sun god and the empty pedestal inside the main temple, where the presiding deity was seated, still exist. The sun temple has been constructed in such a way that the first rays of the rising sun fall on the image of Lord Surya as the sun leaps up from the horizon beyond the sea on the east. The niches of the south, west, and north have 3 exquisitely carved images of the sun god, representing the rising sun, the midday sun, and the setting sun. The 128-foot high porch, the Jagmohan, or the audience hall, stands majestically today as a testimony to the glorious beauty of the whole structure. The panels and the columns of the Nata Mandap, or the dance hall, presently without a roof, are profusely decorated with figures of Odissi dancers and the instrumentalists. Initially, the Navagraha images were installed at the eastern entrance of the porch. Around 1838 AD, the images were shifted from their original position. Only a few years ago, a special building was constructed for the Navagraha outside the temple boundary. The Navagraha images are worshipped by the people even today, although the exact period for which the presiding deity, the sun god, was worshipped is not known. The images on the Navagraha slab are, from left to right, sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. It is said that at Konarak, the artists built like titans, but finished like jewelers. The temple, remarkable for its gigantic proportion, is also sculpturally one of the most embellished in the whole world. Right from the base to the top of the spire, the entire temple complex is embellished with a variety of sculptures, which not only serve as ornate decorations, but also as a record of the life and time of that period. It is as if in this broad canvas, the artists were trying to freeze the totality of creation itself. Of the 24 wheels on which the temple chariot was mounted, only a few are left undamaged. Each wheel has 8 main spokes containing carvings and an axle complete with its pinlock. The circumference is decorated with elaborate floral and other motifs, exquisite scrollwork. Besides, they have a number of medallions containing deities, women, and other figures. The 2 sculptures of enraged horses trampling with their hooves on a fallen soldier while the victor looks on have captured a moment of glory and sadness from the battlefield. This has since been accepted as the emblem of the government of Orissa. The 2 gigantic elephants, carrying 2 dazed and helpless soldiers in their trunks, dramatically depict the might of the great animal. But at the same time, in their smooth finish and delicate features, they embody a grace and beauty of movement and a sense of pathos, giving a fleeting impression of a mother carrying her child. The 2 huge lions guarding the entrance, and the 2 even more massive lion sculptures flanking the northern and southern sides of the temple are both imposing and finely sculptured. The erotic images engraved on the body of the temple are second to none in the field of sculpture. Life-size statues of finely sculptured female musicians adorn the top gallery of the temple spire, playing a variety of instruments: the flute, the manjira, the drum, and the veena. These are called Sura Sundaris, or the heavenly beauties, literally kissing the sky, each standing singly in their individual enchanting stance. Remote and ethereal, they quite literally mark the high point of the visual feast of this epic moment. Konarak, with its abundant architectural beauty, has been attracting scores of tourists from all over the world for the last 350 years. A sophisticated museum has been constructed close to the main temple. Here, science has come to the rescue, and many of the beautiful statues collected from the ruins have been preserved for posterity. The collection, preserved with care in the museum, will ever bear testimony to the glorious past of the architectural and sculptural magnificence of Orissa.
Ah.
Odissi dance and music have been a source of inspiration for the dancers during the recent revival of this art form in the 20th century. The beauty of the temple dancers performing in the Natamandap could have been a sight fit for the gods to see. The Konarak temple is situated 65 kilometers away by road from Bhubaneswar, the capital city of Orissa, and 35 kilometers from Puri on the Marine Drive road. On the bank of the river Chandrabhaga and the coastline of the Bay of Bengal, the Konarak temple was a landmark for mariners traveling on the eastern coast of India, and the fame of the temple spread far and wide soon after it was built. Visiting Konarak is more convenient these days. Bhubaneswar is the nearest airport from Konarak. A number of superfast and express trains connect Bhubaneswar and Puri with major towns and cities of the country. Orissa has the distinction of having a very long coastline, over 400 kilometers long, and its beaches are rated among the finest in the world. The clean, quiet, unspoiled beaches of Konarak are highly attractive for sea and surf lovers. Exquisitely carved, this architectural wonder at Konarak is a living testimony of the splendid artistic sensibility of a race that knew how to live, love, worship, and create. Konarak is a many splendid gem of Orissan art. Its beauty is beyond description. It is to be seen, to be enjoyed and savoured, not once, but again and again. For it is truly a thing of beauty, a joy forever.